I just want to leave you with a couple of final thoughts as we wrap up our discussion about page layout and brochures. I want to give you a couple of tips to think about before you begin designing a brochure. The first thing is that you should always research and draw first. You got to remember that the computer, it's just a tool, and if you use it to think, you're going to actually limit your potential and success. There's nothing more powerful than pencil, paper, and the creative mind. The next thing is when you actually start to design the brochure, don't bury the benefits. No matter how compelling your message is, few people will read every word. Be sure to include your most important points in the places that are most often read, the headlines, the subheads, and the captions. You always want to create a clear call to action. Don't be subtle about the action that you want the reader to take. Invite them to place an order, attend an event, or call for a consultation. Whatever it is, make it clear. Don't assume that your brochure will close the sale. In many cases, a brochure is better used to position your company and to prepare the customer to be sold. Follow up with a visit or a phone call within about 1 week. Take real-world view of work in progress. If your project is going to be folded, print it out and fold it to get a better feel for the final effect. You should always trim pages to size. You want to print your project on the paper you will use to reproduce it. These physical changes can dramatically affect the look of the final piece. Connect your messages. Use your marketing material in concert together. Include an offer of a free brochure in your newsletter and vice versa. If you have them, include your 800 number and website address in all your print materials and offer your print materials online. You definitely want to use high resolution. Now, we've discussed this before, but I just want to reiterate that if you plan to have your brochure reproduced on a commercial printing press, rather than printing the finished product on a laser printer, you want to have it output to a higher resolution image setter. Some image setters will actually print at 1200 dots per inch or higher. Your final brochure will be far more sharp and clear if you use high resolution images. Many commercial printers offer this service, or they can direct you to someone who does. And the last couple things that I want to leave you with are the fact that what you want to remember about just about every corporate or organizational brochure is this: people won't read it. Yeah, I really said that. I didn't say that it wasn't important, I just said it wasn't going to get read. People definitely are going to consider its heft. They might glance at the photos, and they'll certainly notice the layout. That's why it's so important. If you're lucky, they'll read a few captions, headlines, or testimonials. At its best, a brochure is begging for someone to judge you. It says, assume that because we could hire really good printers and photographers and designers and writers, we are talented. We, as in surgeons, real estate developers, whatever it is. And more often than not, people, they do just that. And people believe it too. At its worst, a brochure solves a prospect's problem, the problem of what should I do about this opportunity, by giving them an easy way to say, no, she thinks, I don't need to talk with you. I've reviewed the brochure. I believe you. You're great. So the strategy of your brochure might be overinvest in paper and design, spend twice or even 10 times more than you planned, and if you can't afford to do that, don't have a brochure, especially if your competition does. You always want to use less copy, half as much as you think. Use testimonials, use photographs, short captions. It's hard to have too many of the good ones. You could make it funny enough, or interesting enough, or hey, remarkable enough that people will want to show it to their friends. Show, don't tell. Don't say you have a tranquil setting. They're not going to believe you. Show them you have a tranquil setting. And most important, make sure you leave several obvious things out so that people need to talk to you. Good luck in designing your brochures. I hope you found that these were some useful tips, and can't wait to see what you'll make.